So I don't even know if I'm gonna post this or not. If you end up seeing it, then obviously I did. But I am perplexed and dumbfounded just that there are still Anthony Joshua fans in this world, and I could put a period at the end of that. That wouldn't be quite as genuine, though. I'm sure there are still some people that, go hard and ride for Anthony Joshua. I'm sure there are still some of those folks around. There's a lot less of them, but I'm sure there are still some of those folks. But if you're... I endure some of the folks online to talk boxing with because I want to be able to talk boxing. And if I have to sift through 1,000 turds to find one dude that knows the sport and can speak from a non-emotional place and actually just discuss the sport, it's a gem. I love finding those folks where I could just talk boxing, man. So that part's great. But you got guys out here speaking. Just consider the logic on this. They're saying now that Wilder admitted ducking Anthony Joshua. Now, if you have not been up on the years of just the whole fiasco and the games that Fast Eddie Hearn was playing with Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua is not without his own blame for this, because ultimately he's supposed to be the boss and Eddie Hearn is supposed to work for him. It becomes more difficult when you fuck around and sign a goddamn lifetime contract with Eddie Hearn. That kind of takes away some of your autonomy, but whatever. We're not going to get into that part. But okay. Do we forget why Tyson Fury even became relevant again? The how and the why that there is even a Tyson Fury to fucking talk about. How did that happen? I want to know how that happened. How could Wilder duck a guy who was sitting on a couch, overeating, drinking, sniffing coke? He got caught with PEDs. The British Border Control didn't quite have enough to continue with the trial, but obviously with the Martin Carefoot thing and the uncastrated boar meat thing, that Tyson Fury had believed he had fucked off his whole career. You got caught. You'd already been doing shady shit with the Christian Hammer detached glove. You know what you've been doing with the sparring gloves with Nick Asbury. Tyson Fury is completely aware that he is a piece of shit. He just doesn't want y'all to know it. His dad knows because his dad's a piece of shit. He came from a piece of shit. The Furies are garbage. Sorry, maybe there's one nice Fury out there that I haven't. The ones that get themselves in the limelight are trash. Sorry. Hot garbage juice. Don't give a fuck. These are garbage folks. But Fat Boy was sitting on a couch weighing almost 400 pounds. The games that Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua were playing, Deontay Wilder was like, you know what, fuck it. Let me take my business elsewhere and see what Fat Boy's doing. Because he still had a name. He still was young enough. He had just fucked off his career with the PED stuff. So Fat Boy said challenge accepted. And he got his big ass back in the shape. And regardless as to the tomfoolery that we saw with our own eyes in the ring, long counts, whatever. Because if you already have your mind made up about that, there's no point in me taking us down some road I've already fucking traveled several times. There's no need. I know what I saw. You know what you want to say, so it's whatever. But the fact of the matter is, AJ and Eddie Hearn were fucking playing. The Wilder agreed to go fight in the UK. He agreed to the 20 mil flat fee with no back end money, no nothing else, just 20 mil. The man just wanted a two-way rematch clause, and Eddie Hearn refused to do that. He only wanted AJ to have a rematch clause. So that essentially fucked off the deal. And Wilder's like, you know what? Let me see what Fury's talking about. So no matter what, and again, I'm not going to discuss the particulars of the trilogy. I know what I fucking know, and I know what I've seen, and whatever. But be that as it may, the results of the trilogy increased the stock of both men, and now, in terms of legacy and in terms of their current status, marquee value in the game, they increased each other's name recognition through having that trilogy together. Meanwhile, where's Waldo or Carmen Sandiego? Where the fuck is Anthony Joshua throughout the course of this? Oh, that's right. Getting beat by John Ruiz, coming back, putting on what I feel like was a relatively scared performance. He made it happen though, so you got to give him credit, man. At the end of the day, you get the W, and that's what it's all about. Get your W. You know, look good next time, win tonight, whatever. But then he's also lost twice to Alexander Usyk, and his AJ stock is lower than ever. Lower than ever. I mean, AJ's got himself looking both physically, in terms of his chin and resolve, and also just mentally, he's looking as vulnerable as he's ever looked in his entire career. Since we knew who he was, this is the most vulnerable this man has looked. You know, he's looking like food to a lot of these guys. Nobody's scared that the aura of invincibility is gone. That's been gone. You know, he's mentally fragile, and, you know, physically, it seems like he can't really take a good brick to the grill. So this is where we are now. So, as my mother would have called it, the unmitigated gall, you know, the type of audacity it takes to now turn around and look at the tail end of Joshua's career, because we're at the tail end, ladies and germs, to now somehow still look to put some shine on his name off of Wilder's back and Wilder's efforts. Like, this is how I know sometimes when I'm talking to y'all online, you motherfuckers have never had no actual smoke in your own life. You certainly have never laced up or trained or competed or none of that. None of that. There wasn't a lot of fighting in your life. I ain't talking about that little scrap at the lunchroom where the fucking school security guard pulled you off after you threw 2 punches. Or y'all had each other in the headlock for 5 minutes breathing heavy. I ain't talking about that. That's not fighting. That's a fucking tussle. Whatever. But some of y'all cannot recognize the ways and actions and the behavior of a dude who ain't shook and a dude who wants smoke and a dude who don't. As soon as you see a guy who you like, you enjoy, you know, whatever your reasons are for liking him, nationalism, maybe you think he's good looking, you admire his fucking pectorals or whatever the hell it is that's going on with you, all of a sudden we shift from the obvious, where a dog that wants to go, and now we start talking A-sides, and now everybody's a fucking certified public accountant. We all are managers and lawyers and promoters and all kinds of weird shit that has nothing to do with the fact that one man is demonstrating behavior consistent with wanting to fight, and another man is not. That's the long and short of it, y'all. Cut the shit. Listen, and you know, y'all don't fucking know me from a hole in the wall, but my homeboys will tell you, Rick, Felix, y'all remember when we was watching, you know, Felix over at your mom's house, we was watching them fights with them dudes, and me and Rick was picking AJ early on. Early on, I was backing Anthony Joshua. I thought he was too technically sound for Wilder. Wilder was really raw, really green. He had the power, but, you know, so did AJ. And I'm usually going to go with the more technical fighter. I'm usually going to go with that guy, because boxing, that's what boxing's about. There are very few punchers I pick over boxers. Very, very few. Sometimes there are times. But when I started seeing the behavior of Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua, I started to have to look at this shit different, because, I mean, whatever you feel about a fighter's technical flaws, one guy wants to go. One guy's ready to make it happen, and another guy is not. And I keep hearing a bunch of just the amount of excuses and the gymnastics and the flip-flopping around and all of that had to let you know, look, man, there are certain handlers that handle fighters when they know they got the goods. the motherfucker ends up being called something like the real deal or the truth. They don't move you around, shuffling you around, trying to sell you a product. We got the product. The product is the guy that's in the ring. And they have faith in the way that they move guys. Look at the way the Trinidads moved. Tito, bruh, Tito was scared of nothing, obviously, clearly. And that's a guy who's seeking out smoke. Look at how Lennox Lewis sought out smoke. Nothing about Lennox Lewis was scared business. And you knew it. And it's true. Evander Holyfield ain't no scared business. Look, I'm going to give my man Zab Judah credit because he don't get enough. A lot of y'all motherfuckers, I don't know what page y'all be on like that. But Zab was easy to make fights with. When Zab was moving and shaking, he was an easy motherfucker to get in the ring. That's why you got the Costa Zoo joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, Zab wasn't scared of it. There are certain fighters you can tell they want the work. And certain guys get a little bit diva-ish, and maybe they got something to lose, and they want to protect their position within the ranking system or whatever it is. They move like, you know, scared money don't make none. They move like they're scared to let something go. You can tell the way that Ryan Garcia is handled by Oscar De La Hoya that they're scared about letting something go, putting something at risk. That's his golden hen. That's his meal ticket. Like, them fake abs and whatever Oscar be putting up his nose does not come for free. I'm sure that lady with all the cosmetic surgery that I see him with all the time, I guess that's his girl, she ain't there for free. You know, so you can tell the way people get moved. And when handlers and matchmakers and promoters and managers and advisors know they got the goods, they push that guy like they know they got the goods. It's like playing poker, yo. When you know you got a hand, you move like you got a hand. You just got to you want to protect it because you don't want to scare nobody away, but you know what it is. You know you're about to get some bread. It's the same thing. Eddie Hearn wanted to take Anthony Joshua on a tour of the world, and he was the attraction. And basically, it didn't matter who he was fighting. We came to see AJ. It's the AJ show and the big fucking American takeover and all of that kind of shit. It would be easier to move him around like that. And if Wilder is still around after Eddie has milked the shit out of Anthony Joshua, then perhaps we cash in at the end, if at all. I'm sorry, y'all. This has nothing to do with... I'm not one of you weirdos who have to play for a team. I watch boxing. I don't watch no team sports. I stopped watching the NFL about 7 years ago. I haven't watched the NBA since, like, I don't know, 2 years after they changed the Bullets to the Wizards. And then when I watched Sacramento and them shit the bed against the Lakers, I was like, you know what, I don't need this shit. I don't need this stress in my life. I'm going to just keep it boxing because boxing gives me, by and large, I get what I want out of sports from boxing better than I get from anything else. And yeah, it's frustrating because boxing, there's not a forced schedule. So you know, like, I was a Skins dude, DC all day, every day as a football fan. But you knew you was going to play goddamn Cowboys, bum-ass Cowboys. You're going to play their bitch asses twice a year. You're going to play the Giants. You're going to play the Eagles. And, you know, back in the day, you're going to play the Cardinals. You knew that going in. Boxing does not provide that for you. Sorry, this mirror, man, it's driving away. But boxing doesn't give you that. But at the end of the day, the main reason fights don't get made, the main reason is because both dudes don't want it. If they both want it, it can happen. If they insist and they put their foot down and they're saying, yo, I want it with this person right here, I want to get in the ring with that person. They both feel that way, those fights happen, man. I think it's a rare thing when the fighters really, really want it. Both fighters want it, and it doesn't happen. And so, you know, I get it, man. If you're walking around here with the team mentality, team sports mentality, and applying it to boxing, then I get where your struggle is. You need to paint narratives because you're trying to protect your own emotional attachment to a particular fighter. I don't really do that no more, man. I'm close to 50 years old, y'all. I'll be 48 in August. I don't fall in love with fighters like that no more. That's like some young guy shit or some new fan shit, and you just found this particular athlete or a particular athletes that have really, you've become enamored with them and you really dig their story and how they do their thing, whatever it is that has attracted you to that person. And so then you latch on. But here's the thing. This is the difference between boxing and other sports, man. You can root for a franchise as long as the franchise exists. So most of us will follow a particular sports team. If you watch that sport your whole life, you will always have your Yankees or your Lakers or your Redskins or your sorry ass Dallas. You'll have that shit for your life. As long as it doesn't matter. The personnel changes, but the franchise exists. With boxing, you're talking about individuals. These boxers are a one-time franchise, and from the beginning to the end of their career, that is the only time that those fighters are going to exist. You know what I mean? So, that being the case, you get emotional, you get attached, and you latch on to spun narratives in order to be able to reconcile with yourself, because I don't know if you feel like you're betraying your fighter if you tell the fucking truth. My advice for you young dudes following the sport and for you newer people coming to the sport, you will enjoy boxing so much more if you stop falling in love with the fighters and just fall in love with boxing itself. Love boxing before boxers. Okay? Love fighting before fighters. You will enjoy watching combat sports more if you find the love for fighting. The other stuff is peripheral. It is really not anywhere near as important as what we actually see in the ring. But if you fall in love with the actual pugilism, you're going to find a more pure heart in terms of your ability to just be honest about what is actually taking place and let the facts be the facts. I don't root for American fighters just because they're American. Now, familiarity is a different thing. I'm going to be familiar with more American fighters because they're going to be featured on networks and platforms that are easy for me to receive being in America. But that doesn't mean I'm exclusive in that way. Look, there are plenty of people that are not from America that I like, and there's plenty of American fighters that I do not like. So we're not monolithic in that way. And if your nationalism is such that, I don't know if you're like a football, soccer kind of person, and so you're used to needing a team to go against, I would suggest rethinking that process when it comes to trying to follow boxing, because there's no Team America, there's no Team UK, there's no Team Mexico. That's not how this works. These are individuals. So I don't defend Wilder for the sake of, Wilder fanboy. I don't fanboy for fucking nobody, man. I'm going to tell you what it is. Like, for example, my favorite active fighter right now is Errol Spence Jr. I am pretty concerned about his ability to beat Boots Ennis, because I think Boots Ennis is coming to take everybody's lunch at welterweight. But that's a different conversation. But what I'm saying is, I'm able to detach my admiration for a fighter with my actual logical opinion about what I think happens in the ring. Some of y'all have real, legitimate struggles doing that. And I would really, you go do some soul searching on your own. You ain't got to come online or get in my comment sections or DM me or no shit about your process. I want your process to be a personal process, nothing that you ever even need to admit as you go through growth and honesty through introspective thinking. Like, you look at your fucking self, ask honest questions to yourself, and then be honest with your answers to yourself. Do all that homework, figure your shit out, whether you got actual integrity or you're really just, you're playing for teams. You just love Eddie Hearn and DAZN and Matchroom, so that's your team. Or you just love the PBC, or you just love fucking Top Rank or Ludabella or whatever it is that you're doing, Pro Bellum or whatever. I'd say MTK Global, but we know what's up with that. And if you don't, you need to do your homework. But I'd stop all that. Stop the team sports. The fact of the matter is, Deontay Wilder wanted the smoke with AJ, and that's Come on. I mean, I shouldn't have to do like my folks. Look, there are plenty of Drew Titan, for example, my dude. He will take y'all through, providing you with the clips and the commentary, the receipts about Eddie Hearn and his double talk and all of that. First of all, I don't even have the means. I don't even have the video editing skills to do all that shit. But I don't even know that I'd want to do that because some of y'all are so fucking hard-headed. You will see Eddie Hearn say a thing. You will see AJ say a thing. You will see Tyson Fury do all sorts of shit. But you will choose to what you actually allow in your brain. There's a filter, and it's set on whatever bullshit you're on. So it is what it is. But we know the facts. It's a crazy thing to even attempt to use Fury as a reason why Deontay Wilder ducked AJ when Fury was 400 pounds, fat, sweaty, and disgusting, sniffing coke and drinking and shit on his couch. AJ had the opportunity, just like Terrence Crawford, had the fucking opportunity to put the fucking stamp on him being the man in his division. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. And he was A-side, and he ain't do it. So he had the chance, he didn't do it. It doesn't make sense. Now that, and this, because I'm gonna wrap this shit up. I mean, you motherfuckers should already know this. I shouldn't even have to say any of this. None of this. But it's impossible for Fury to be the thing that Wilder went to court to make this motherfucker fight him a third time. But he's ducking AJ? Oh, last little tidbit too. Some Nimrod online was like, whoa, Wilder's only fought one elite fighter in Fury, and then look what happened to him. Can we please stop fronting? Like the heavyweight division that we see it today is just it's just bursting at the seams with talent and all these names. Fury's resume is some garbage. AJ's resume is garbage. If you're looking at who they've actually fought, and yes, you can only fight who's available, I get that shit. But let's not act like none of these dudes is world-beating, slashing, and slaying down champions and Hall of Famers and all the, oh man, come on. Who's on Fury's resume? The same, he got old Vladimir Klitschko, which again, I personally felt like that was one of the best Vladimir Klitschko's. No, I'm sorry. I was just about to talk about Fury. The best Vladimir Klitschko I saw in a long time was actually against AJ, but that's a different thing. The Fury Klitschko fight was a stinker of an affair with one just fat big guy, tongue out, shuffling, buffling, and Vladimir not being able to pull the trigger. Like he needed a boxing Viagra or something. He just couldn't get going. But Fury got that W. Who else has Fury beaten that's worth anything? Now here's where it gets funny. Y'all gonna say Wilder, but yet Wilder's also simultaneously garbage. Y'all want to erect statues, literally of Fury standing over Wilder, but Wilder's trash. So then what's that accomplishment? Is somebody going to make a statue of me as I throw my my water bottle? When I throw this in the recycling, do I deserve? Because that would be trash at that point. You gonna make a statue of me doing that? All right then. So either Wilder is of some value, because you can't extract value from a victory over a trilogy victory over Wilder without Wilder being worth something. You can't do both. So it's either a non-accomplishment against a skinny leg windmill Wilder, who's a bum and never fought nobody. So then, okay, then you can extract nothing from trilogies, and you got dropped 5 times from the garbage man, the sanitation worker. You got 5 times, okay. So it just see how none of this works. See, it doesn't make any sense. Anthony Joshua fucked himself over. The celebrity, the Eddie Hearn in his ear, putting the battery in his back, and he's out here talking about freezing Wilder out and all that shit. It's like y'all don't remember none of this stuff. And now all of a sudden, in order to continue to dump on Wilder's name, because Lord knows, seeing an outspoken, dark-skinned brother from Alabama make it from obscurity, coming to the game late, getting a bronze medal, knocking people's heads off, it pisses you off. Maybe if he was a quiet, kind of say, yes sir, head down type of dude, maybe I wouldn't come at him the way you come at him. But the fact that he's not going to shell up and keep a meek personality and, tap dance for y'all, maybe that's the problem. But the facts are the facts. The truth is the truth. Even now, today, as I speak to you, Anthony Joshua does not want to climb into a ring with Deontay Wilder. Did I add a little dramatic effect as I slowly brought my fucking face here to tell you what you already know? Come on, man. I mean, I can't believe we're still having this discussion in 2023. I can't even believe it's still a thing to be talked about. I'm kind of astonished that there are still UK fanboys of Joshua still talking this crazy shit. It's crazy, man. And I don't even hate Joshua like that. I want the best for the brother. If I'm Joshua, go cash out while this thing can still happen. Because honestly, D getting to the end of his career, so is Joshua. Y'all make a whole bunch of money. Do the rematch clause, have a rematch. Y'all get 2 affairs, maybe 3 if y'all swap. And then you got a trilogy to attach yourself to and a whole lot of money between 2 hard-punching dudes. Not, flapping love handles and moving and shaking and come on. Ain't gonna be like 300 pounds of can't punch. But anyway, so look, let's put this shit to bed. And I'll tell you what, if you don't like Wilder and you still like Anthony Joshua, let us, you and I, work together, flood the Twitter and all of the social media sphere, and let's push Eddie to make it. Let's get it. I'm down. Bruh, I'm not no fire stick boy. I buy my shit. I'm right down in front of my crib. The TV I will watch it on is right as I walk in the fucking door. I'll watch it with you. Let's go, man. Let's watch it. What's the problem? So that way we don't even have to talk about the old shit anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's push for something to actually happen. Unless, of course, you're more comfortable living in your reconstructed version of the past, and you don't want anything to actually happen now because some of that may impact what you have to say, right? And you prefer being able to say it to a cheeky American rather than actually enjoying fights, which, again, might be something you want to reevaluate, man. That's crazy. I like the fights. I'm even making this video solely because I'm a boxing fan, not because I want to talk to you. So, anyway, I had to get off my chest. Some of y'all are crazy as hell. It is what it is, man. And hopefully we'll get some stuff cracking, man. Start hitting Fast Eddie up and see if he'll finally put his boy in there, man. Let's get this work. All right, let me know.